Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagatguru. So we are discussing some concepts of Bhagavad Gita which we can directly connect with our life, can use or implement in our personal spiritual growth. Our life is of two types. One is a subjective life, and the other is a social life. Social means the part of our life which is connected with others, and one part of our life which we ourselves practice, do, think, which could be affected by others, but it has nothing to do with others. When we do certain activities of our life which is connected with others, for example, family life, for example, social, this class, but there are many things which you do it for yourself. It is not connected with society as such. Your own habits, whether you go for a walk or not, society has no connection. Food which you take according to your choice. What you want to think, what you want to do, many things we do for ourselves. And the result of which, good or bad, we enjoy, we suffer. But those who cannot classify or differentiate between what is my personal and what is social. So when I lose something in my personal life, I blame the society. Society has nothing to do with that. You select, you do. So, Bhagavad Gita, there are so many concepts which is useful to us in our personal spiritual growth. But there is social part of it, or in a way subjective and objective, or internal and external, whichever way you want to put it. Some concepts are useful for us as a person. Some which is as a group, whether family or a state or the world or whatever, but in a group. So, in this chapter, fourth chapter, Karma Sannyasa Yoga, sannyasa of karma, renunciation of karma. In the third chapter, Sri Krishna clearly mentioned there is no way that you can be free from karma. Then why in the next chapter he take about karma sannyasa? You cannot be free from karma, but you can be detached from karma. Sannyasa doesn't mean only giving up. People give up, people renounce, very seldom voluntarily. In most of the cases, it is force of the nature, force of the people, force of whatever. You do not do, even if you are prompted to do, because you are afraid of society, police. Not that we are free from temptation, not that we are free always from weaknesses. But God is great that when He wants to keep some people in a correct, true path, they otherwise would not have been able to follow that good path. So God gives us shame. Let me not do it, what people will tell. And you remain balanced. Why should not do? Because it is, in this society, is illegal. You don't do it. All these are relative things. Legal, moral, these are relative. That which is legal somewhere could be illegal other places. That which is moral in one place, which is immoral in other place. So these are relative things. There is no absolute concept of legal or moral. But there is something, what you call spiritual or what you call, your own conscience says that. For example, to harm others. You don't need to follow any rules to understand, because you know it is wrong to harm others. It is wrong to cheat others. Then the law comes and says, yes, it is wrong. But before the law says, you know. How many of us have studied law? But most of us are law-abiding. How, without knowing the law, you can become law-abiding people? Because the laws which are made are very logical, which is mostly, or rather almost every law, is parallel to what an individual feels about wrong and right. So without understanding of the law, without studying the law, we all become law-abiding people. So, there are many good concepts which are told in Bhagavad Gita, which individually useful, sometimes collectively useful. There is a very interesting one shloka. Even I have not thought it from that angle which I now think. You know, scriptures are such, when you keep on reading, according to your progress or your expansion, your expanding horizon of your knowledge, you get new meaning, new interpretation. So this shloka, which earlier I didn't think it could be, but it is really so. What is that? Ye yatha mam prapadyante tans tasaiva vayamyam. According to the manner in which people approach me, devotees approach me, I favor them in that very manner. In the same manner I favor them. I reply them. It is the same God. People approach Him differently, and He replies differently to them, in their manner, the way they understand. That's why there are so many religions. Even within religion also, people have their own combination, selection of thoughts and ideas. And people lead their life accordingly. Many times, people do not know that these things are not allowed, you should not do it. Because there is norms in their culture. So somebody has to come and tell, no, you cannot do that. when the new culture mixes with the old culture, this happens. If you see the history of India, or history of any country for say, when the invaders came, they have their own rules, all parameters and levels of moral, legal, etc. So it is they who has come to this land without understanding the logic, philosophy, way of life of these people. They started coming and changing it everywhere, not only India. As soon as the ruler changes, rules changes. Very interesting. Generally, in most of the countries, when election happens and different political parties come to power, the normal life of people is not affected by that. Policies are affected. Day-to-day life is not affected. Not that tomorrow other government comes, so things become cheaper or costlier, but someplace it is there. I don't know whether I should tell or not. I was in Argentina for 2 years. When they told me, I couldn't understand first. I say, in previous government, this road was one way from this side to that side. As soon as government changed, they changed the road. Now come this side to this side, one way. Why it should be changed, we don't know. The world changes so fast. We narrow-mindedly say, 100 years of history. What is 100 years in infinite expansion of time? Nothing. Just 75 years before, British ruled India. Within 75 years, an Indian became British and ruled Britain. 75 years. That's why scriptures will tell, the great people will tell, don't be proud of the things which are very short-lived. In our devotional songs, it is always said, don't be proud of two things. One is your youth, physical, whatever, youth, beauty, whatever. And secondly, the money, prosperity. You think you are proud of this, correct? Just few weeks before. In one statement, one decision, billions of dollars came down. Just one statement. What is the permanency of these things? You think I am holding this gold in my hand and market gold price went down. Just telling example only. You may hold on the same quantity of gold, but prices goes away. Everything in the world is momentary. Momentary doesn't mean one fraction. It could be for days and months and years. But that which is short-lived, that which will have an end, wise people don't get attached to that because they know it will go away. Even if you want to hold on, it will not. People are there to make you fool. How to extract money from the rich people's pocket, these marketing people know. Anti-aging solution. There is nothing anti-aging. There cannot be anything anti-aging. You may, logically, you may reduce the pace of your becoming old maybe, but eventually you die. If it is anti-aging, there should be something eating which a person will not die. Nobody in the world remained. Everybody, one who is born will have to die. Especially, why especially normal people? Though we have a concept of Chiranjeevi, we have a concept of those who will never die. There are 7 of them in our scriptures. Ashwatthama, Bali, Vyasa, there are 7 of them. Hanuman, for example. But people, those who are born will die. That which is there, tomorrow it won't be there. Buddha, Lord Buddha, when he did so much austerity, and you see, today it is so easy for us to understand, not realization I am telling, understanding. But 2500 years before, he did so much thinking, meditation to understand this. When he told, it became natural to us. How much difficult it would have been for the person to make electricity. Now we are using as if nobody's business. So Buddha realized this. Sarvam kshanikam kshanikam. Everything is momentary. There is nothing permanent in this world. So, this is our experience. That things go away from our hand. It's like you hold the sand in your hand. The more tightly you want to hold, more sand will go out of your hand. Can you hold the time? By the time I speak the word time, 2 seconds have gone, never to come back. Can we hold it? No. Because it is seconds, so it goes. These seconds are only part of my life. My life also goes. What I was 10 minutes before, I am older now. You may not see, I may not see, but you are getting older. Because the process is so slow, so it is such a superimposed idea in our mind that things are like this, it will not change. 50 years before, this was a log of wood, part of a tree. But when we see it, last 20 years I am seeing it, 24 years I am seeing it. But it was not in this shape. You know, when I was young, a typical concept was in my mind. If I see that a child is born in somebody's family, yes, he is born like this. But I am seeing you like this. So I used to think that he is born like this. Till my secondary school, I never had an idea that a child becomes big. I don't know why. If I see you, you are born like this. If I see you, you are born like this. Child, he was born like this. He is a small boy. It takes no media, no internet. And our school teachers were more shy than the students, and they will not discuss many things in the class. We had a teacher, lady teacher in my primary school, and she has to take biology subject. After teaching 6 months, he says, remaining chapter principal will teach. So, half book you teach, why half book principal should come and teach? Principal was an old man, and there was something about the reproduction system. And the lady will not open her mouth. We are talking 45 years before, or 50 years before. Society was not this as you and me think. A lot of restrictions, a lot of natural shyness was there. So in this shloka, when Sri Krishna says, whoever comes to me in whichever way, I respond to them in that way. Very interesting. This concept he is telling 3,500 years before. The way people approach me, I respond to them in that manner. When Sri Krishna told this, maybe there were two religions or maximum three known religions. They were in their infancy when Krishna told this. Judaism, Jainism and Zoroastrians. These three were there in the world when Krishna told this. Other religions were not even existent. Jesus was not born, Prophet Muhammad was not born. And forget about younger religions. They were not there. So this was the truth. When you find Bhagavad Gita, somewhere it will be written, scriptures of mankind. So they should write scripture for Hindus. I said, no, others were not there. That's why it was meant for the whole human being. If others were there, then you can say only for ours. No, there was nobody else. That's why we have a concept of Chakravarti Samrat. He is king of the whole world. So you say, definitely in Indian subcontinent, they meant by that only, not the whole world. Actually, it was whole world. Very interesting truths are there, which I study for my understanding, sometimes good as a reference. When Sita was abducted by Ravana, Rama goes towards south, toward the direction of the ornaments which Sita had thrown. We take this as a story. How Sita was abducted? Ravana held her hand and they walked? No, they flew. So the concept of flight was there. In one way or other, we do not know what kind of flight it was. But reference is there. When Rama came back from Sri Lanka to Ayodhya, he came by Pushpaka Vimana. Pushpaka was a aircraft. So we say, no, these are all stories. There was no aircraft. How do you say there was no aircraft? Then, when on the way, Rama meets Sugriva, Hanuman and others. And Rama told them about it. But my wife is abducted by someone. Already Jatayu had told that he is Ravana who has taken. So Rama gave all the information. If you read Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana, Sugriva was the king and he sent his messengers everywhere in the world. Everywhere in the world. This reference is there. There is a shloka where Sugriva says to his army, go towards west. You will find a mountain. On the mountain, a huge 3-branch tree is carved on the mountain. Carved not 1 foot, 2 feet, no. It is hundreds of meters on a stone mountain wall. Not only it's a tree with 3 branches, but it is on a altar or a pedestal, like pot. You see that mountain also, Sitaji could be there. You know where this mountain is still today? In Peru, all the way in South America. Now you say, this is a story. Let it be a story. It is written in Valmiki Ramayana, that is true. That symbol on the mountain is true. It is still there. Go internet, you can see it. How that reference came in Ramayana? Exactly same direction. So, we have no idea because all this is external scientific way of living 3,500 years before, or even 5,000 years before. In Hindu scriptures, there are slokas about the mode of transport. All I have kept recorded in my PowerPoint. Shloka says, transportation is possible on water, on land, also in air. It is the shloka. So this was there. Our condition is that we are all educated in such a way that until a British, European or American invents that, only science. What Indian people invent is not science. It is mythology. I say many times, Jesus Christ is part of history or part of mythology? History, he was born. Prophet Muhammad, yes, he was born. Buddha, he was born. Why then Rama and Krishna should be mythology? There are more proofs, physical proofs of the advent of Rama and Krishna than any of the incarnations. That many proofs are there. So, here he says, how many years before? Almost 3,500 years before. Ye yathamam prapadyante stan sathaiva bhajamyaham. I respond to people the way they worship me. Here is a philosophy. Any God, any form of God, gods are not two, God is only one. Any form of God you worship, it is up to you what you consider your God as. Oh, we worship, now Navratri started, Chaitra Navratri. We worship Divine Mother. Oh, she will, by her grace, this will happen. You are limiting Goddess to give you only prosperity. Adi Shankaracharya very beautifully writes, you decide what your God has to. God is one only. One aspect of God is called Devi. One aspect of God is called Vinayaka. One aspect of God is called Krishna. Aspect means manifestation. You decide. But if you say, no, my Ishta Devata is Ganesha, and Ganesha is everything, the highest truth, the embodiment of Parabrahman, nothing more than that. Then Ganesha will respond to you because you will recognize him like that. If you say, no, only Vignaharta, he can't do anything more than that. It is like our concept of God is like a lift. Scriptures also you can give example of a lift. There is a 20-story building and there is a lift. Your house is on the 4th floor. So you go to the 4th floor. Do you have right to say that this lift takes people only up to 4th floor? You are not interested to go higher. In the same way, your concept of God, your understanding of scriptures, don't limit it. That it is meant for only this much purpose. No. Holy Mother says, a simple mantra which you have received, that small mantra has capacity to reveal the truth, the final truth, the ultimate truth. But if you say, no, this mantra is for my purification. For example, we have 4 Mahavakyas in our Vedas. Aham Brahmasmi, Prajnanam Brahma, Tattvamasi, Ayam Atma Brahma. 4 are called Mahavakyas. And these Mahavakyas, or the great sentences, are enough. Every individual, one sentence is enough to give you the realization of truth. But there is one group of people who are called Mimamsakas, Karma Kandis. They say, no, all these Aham Brahmasmi, etc. are from Achmanam. When you do Achmana, to purification of yourself. If you give value to it, it remains that much valuable to you. The famous story, a person went to take bath in a river. While going down by the steps, he found corner of the step is very shining. So he went and somehow could take out. It's a shining stone. So he was very happy. Whom to go? So he went to his friend who is a vegetable seller. So he said, your stone looks very beautiful. I can give 2 kilo brinjal for that. So he said, no, I don't want to sell. He went to another friend, he is a cloth merchant. So he said, yeah, it is good. That fellow was cheating you. Just by giving 2 kilo brinjal, he wanted to take this. I will give you 10 meters of cloth. He said, no, I don't want to sell. Like this, he went on asking people, and people gave value to it according to their profession. Then he went to a diamond merchant. He said, from where you got it? It is so precious. Stone was the same. People's way of looking at it is different. And they don't have capacity more than that. A vegetable seller doesn't have capacity to anything calculating more than that. That's why nowadays they will tell, motivational speaker, dream big. Why? Because you have potential to become big. No, I can't do it. Then you will never be able to do it. Tell that you can do it. Try your best. What you were able to do 2%, because of that motivation, because of the inspiration, because of your effort, you will make it 4%, 8%, 16%, whatever. Sri Ramakrishna says, don't underestimate human being. Human being has capacity even to realize God. Don't consider yourself very tiny, petty, small, no. But we identify ourselves with body, mind, community, name, and we consider that we are. No. None of this of we are. How can I progress? My father is a poor man. Your father is a poor man doesn't mean you should be poor. How can I become so big? I don't have any money to do business. The biggest, richest family in India, just last generation, never had even 100 rupees in his hand. Correct? Today they are sitting on how many billions we don't know. How it happened? If you would have thought, my father came from Gujarat to Bombay. Earlier there was a system. You bring a vessel, like a pot, lota, tie with a rope. Why? Because in the well you have to, drinking water you have to take. So one dori means string, lota means that pot, and one gamcha, a piece of cloth. That much they take and go out. No money in pocket of Dhirubhai Ambani. Flourish, no? No, idea is to consider yourself small, not in worldly sense I'm telling, even in spiritual sense. One migrant worker came from Bangladesh or somewhere, working as a construction worker, getting $800 to $900. But he is an ex-student of our mission in Bangladesh. So when he comes here, sometimes we will see people will drive Mercedes or something. We don't see difference in it. We also get the same prasad. Everybody will get the same prasad. But he once came and told me, Swamiji, is there any possibility in my life to become rich like that? I say it is wrong to say that you cannot become rich, but you have to find the way to do it. Work hard, study, upgrade yourself. You may not be in 1 year become rich, but if you want to be a better person, from this moment you can become a better person. Nobody can stop you from becoming a better person. You decide what you want to become. Decide. I will never harm anybody. Decide. I will live a pure life. Decide. I will not tell lies. As soon as the idea comes in mind, you become that. And then practice those virtues. Nobody can stop you from becoming a better person. Reach is a process. Your talent, your ability, your intelligence, your common sense. Many people I know, if you tell him to sign, put signature 2 times, it will not match. But making millions, education and mark sheet doesn't go parallel with your paycheck. No. Because there are many factors out there. One gentleman, he is one of the 15 listed companies in Singapore. He says, Swami, I was a mediocre student, and those who did well in my class are applying for a job in my company. You see, mark sheet is different. What you flourish is different. But that doesn't mean you become a better person, no. That could be a simple person, but highly respected because of his good qualities. Slowly that part is diminishing in our modern societies, every country. A person of high character, people don't look at him. Only money and physical beauty. These two only in a gross way is important as today. But if you do not know, and when somebody says, hey, great scholar, just sit with him for a while. Once you mix, then you understand, wow, he may not have money, but what knowledge. I have seen some people. Of course, he was not poor, but he was a professor lecturer or something in a college. I have spent only 1 hour with him, walking around in one ashram. In 1 hour I told him, if possible, I would like to stay with you for at least 7 days. So much knowledge. One young man, so much knowledge. You give any word and he will tell you how this word traveled in the world and became different words in different lands, different languages. Linguist, full of knowledge. So, Sri Krishna says this, whichever way people come, if you worship God in your own way, as soon as you worship different form of God, they say it is different religion or different sect. Sri Krishna, whichever way you worship whomsoever, mama vartmanu vartante, manushya partha sarvasha. Eventually they are worshipping me only. Me is not Krishna, the son of Vasudeva. No, he is identifying himself with the supreme truth. That's why he says, whichever God you worship, eventually it comes to me. Whichever river you touch, water of that river eventually is going to ocean. You may not see it, indirectly it goes. There is no second place to go for any river. All the rivers meet another rivers, together go to the ocean or single-handedly go to the ocean. In the same way, whomsoever you worship, goes to that final. This is the problem with which only we Hindus can talk. That whichever God you worship, not that worship of all the gods goes to Krishna. No, that's a little narrow interpretation. Whichever form of God you worship eventually goes to that final truth, which is only one. And all the religions are nothing but different paths to reach that. There is a mountain, there is a top of the mountain. There can be many ways to go to the top of the mountain. It is foolishness to say my way is the only way, no. So, different religions, different sects, different paths eventually goes to the same truth. The truth you can name it whatever you want. That's why people say, a Christian gentleman came and no, Jesus is the only truth. Yes, correct. There is nothing wrong. No, Allah is the only truth. Yeah, correct. Then why you are worshipping Krishna? I say, Krishna is the only truth. How he also is only truth? He also is only truth. I don't know. Ice cream is the truth, not the flavors. Correct? Whatever flavor you take, eventually is mixture of cream, milk, sugar and some flavor. You go to the sweet shop, varieties of sweets are there. Eventually made of 4 or 5 things only. Either it is besan, ghee, sugar or milk. Different forms, different colors, different shapes. In the same way, truth is the same. You name the truth as Christ, I say name as Krishna. Somebody says something. Hold on to that. Sri Krishna says, Mama Vartmanu Vartante. Vartma means path. Eventually come to me. There is a nice slokas. Akashat patitam toyam yatha gacchati sagaram. When the water falls from the sky in form of rain, eventually goes to the ocean. Sarvadeva namaskaram keshavam pratigacchati. Whomsoever you worship, eventually goes to that truth. That truth you name whatever you like. In your religion, you tell that as a truth. It is not a person who is truth. Jesus also realized something. Jesus never told this body is the truth. No. Spirit Jesus is truth. Not Krishna playing flute is the truth. Spirit, that's why he says previous slokas. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo vetti tattvata tyaktvad evam deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. It's not the body of Krishna. It is the tattvataha. Yome vetti tattvataha. In essence, you should know me. Not reading the book, Krishna was born in Gokul and then passed away in Dwarka. That's good. Not that Krishna. Shankaracharya beautifully writes, the same truth as if took birth in form of Krishna. If that body was the truth, body cannot be truth. Body was made of 5 elements as yours and my body. Inside, a realization is there of the self. That is true. Then he says, but what people do? People worship not different gods. Same God people worship in different forms. But with their limited ideas. Why? I want money, so Goddess Lakshmi. I am a student, Goddess Saraswati. I am a soldier, so Ayudha Puja, on Dashami day you do Rama's Puja. Why you are keeping God as limited to money, study, weapons? No. Eventually for the Paramarthika Kalyana, for the spiritual realization, your Lakshmi Devi is capable to do this because that form could be of Mother Lakshmi. Behind Mother Lakshmi is that same truth. Truths are not true, God is not true. So that's what he says. Then he says, Kangshantaha karmanam siddhim, to be successful in life, yajantiha devata. People worship different gods and goddesses. Why? Kshipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmada. Because in this world, the result of your action is instant. Very interesting. Kshipram, very fast. Just like you bite chili and your mouth starts burning, in the same way, you do one action. Apparently it takes time, but result must come. So here Sri Krishna says this one, that is a very profound verse where you can interpret as harmony of religions, harmony of yoga, harmony of different paths. That eventually goes to the same. We'll take up in the next sloka. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.